mortals. Welcome back to FanCastic, the FanCasting podcast, where we fancast all your favorite fantasy, romantasy, and fiction. I am your host, Loretta Ann. I am a current audiobook narrator, previous actor, and work in television music licensing. Today, we are keeping going with our back-to-school dark academia theme, and we will be fancasting Enigma by RuNyx. RuNyx is known for having a pen name. She has a pen name because, unfortunately, she dealt with some stalking issues. So, New York Times bestseller, she's like, I'm gonna switch things up and protect my safety. Her pen name actually is a personal name as well. It means something very close to her. I'm assuming it's like a mashup of two things, but RuNyx, also the author of Gothicana, several other dark, gothic, academic settings. She is very inspired by her travels. She's lived both in the US and in Europe. I was first intrigued by Gothicana and added it to my to-be-read list. The Goodreads reviews were not great, but I was like, who cares? I want this. I love this. Gothicana is still on my list. I have not read it yet. I chose to do Enigma first because my guest today read Enigma and was like, you will love this. You need to read it. And she was right. So let's bring in our guest. Without further ado, we're bringing back Adara. Hello, Adara. Welcome back to FanCastic. Kicking off the year with dark academia reads for a back to school. So I had to pick up the book you told me to, Enigma by RuNyx.
We had some in-person discussions about this because
we sure did.
I had a very fun summer, and that included spending like 10 days out in LA, spending half of my time hanging out with you. So we had some super fun in-person discussions about this book.
Poolside reads. Yes, you got to, in real time, watch me finish the book.
Yep.
And give my reactions. So, okay, let's talk a little bit about Enigma and kind of why we picked this book. I think for me, I came across RuNyx as Gothicana first. I think I had mentioned it or something. It was on my Goodreads, and then you brought to my attention, oh, there's this book I want to read, Enigma by RuNyx, and I was like, what? And you're like, yeah, it's like dark academia. And I was like, wait, I have that one on my list. I didn't have that one. I had Gothicana. We're going back and forth with the idea of like, okay, should I read Gothicana and you read Enigma and then we compare or whatever. You started to read Enigma first and you were like, Loretta, it's so good. It's so you. It's so dark and spooky. It's super goth.
Ooky.
You have to read it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, fine. I'm going to pick this one up first. This one did have better reviews on Goodreads than Gothicana does. I'm still going to read Gothicana. You've read both, right?
I have read both. And I'm actually super intrigued by the fact that Enigma I think they're about equal. I think there are some better things about Enigma and there are some better things about Gothicana. I can just tell that she wrote one before the other, like similar to SJM, you can tell earlier writing career, just learning and growing as a writer,
Yeah.
But I also just think that there are some things that are better about one versus the other. And I think that they're about equal in my brain. I also went in with, and I say this in a really good way, low expectations.
Absolutely in hell. Yes.
And I do this with a lot of like the book talk books and things like that, like low expectations. I know these are not going to be, especially standalone books, that aren't like these major, series, that these are not going to be something, they're going to be quick, easy reads. They're going to be poolside reads, airplane reads. And that's essentially what it was for me. It was an airplane read on my way to a work conference that was at a spa resort in Arizona. And then I read it at the pool in Arizona and I finished it in like 3 days. And I was
Mhm.
like, this is a really fun read. And I knew that it would check off a lot of boxes of things that you liked in terms of like spooky academia, the types of things
Man.
about the men, specifically the lead character. I was like, ooh,
What do you mean, dark-haired, tattooed, brooding boys?
artist boy, I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
the spooky ooky witchy girl, who's like the lead character. I was like, this is gonna tick a lot of boxes for Loretta
Ye
in terms of all of those things. I know you have your opinions about some of the other parts of the book
We'll get into that
in
shortly.
terms of like storytelling and writing and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But I said, let's do this one first. And I'm
Yeah.
glad you did. I'm still glad you're gonna read Gothicana. Because then I
Yeah.
think it'll be really great to compare the two and
Right.
discuss kind of the pros and cons of each. But
Right.
I was very happy that
Yeah. So I think I just want to talk a little bit about the author in general, and
yeah.
that'll kind of lead into like a few of my opinions and maybe inklings of the book. And I would love to like hear yours. I know that we like talked about this obviously off mic before, but I want to bring some of those conversations back. RuNyx is a pen name. So I and from my understanding it's a pen name that is like very personal, and the capitalization is capital R U capital N Y X. So
Yeah.
I think there is some sort of connection. Nyx is night, and so she's very open about like, this is my pen name, this is not my real name. I didn't know that it's because she had a stalker
Oh, I didn't know that
previously.
either.
Yeah, and
Okay,
so
interesting.
yeah, I didn't know that. So there was like, she had a stalker and changed her pen name, and I don't feel like that information is like everywhere online of like what had happened, but I think that's really interesting. Especially considering the subject matter, at least of this book,
Yeah.
with the stalking and the obsession and the kind of her characters. And so I'm like, wow, that's really interesting. Like, it feels like a lot taken from her own life,
Yep.
especially with like the settings. So she has lived both in the US and in Europe. Just gonna assume like Scotland and Edinburgh because it's very dark. It's very this type
Yep.
of style, and
Which
that has
is
influenced.
what I knew you loved about Scotland.
Yes,
This.
absolutely. I would move there in a heartbeat.
Yep.
Somebody give me a visa. I'm there. Like,
Yep.
goodbye. Um, it's my favorite place in the world, and it seems like she feels the same way, and that really influences her writing, which I could tell. That it's like the way she describes the school, the way that she describes the scenery and the setting are places that really she's either been to and are inspired by. And I
Hmm.
thought that that's one of the things that like sucked me into the book so quickly was her prose of, this is where we're at, this is what we're doing right away. And I don't think enough authors do that. I
Yes.
also think we read a lot of fantasy, so it's more world building, and this was, the world is built and here's the setting,
Correct.
which was nice.
And it's a small world. So there's a little bit of world building, but it's very contained.
Right.
And it's a lot more descriptive because it's that combo of world and setting building,
Yes.
which I love. And that's one of the things that I really appreciated about this book is that I was hooked pretty quickly. I was like, I'm
Same.
really going to enjoy this. Flip, 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 flip.
Same.
The one thing that I think is really interesting about this conversation in terms of her background being a victim of a stalker is that I came across this morning actually a video on the TikToks
Mhm.
talking about somebody didn't understand the appeal of dark romance and the appeal of stalker romances and the haunting and hunting Adelines and the caught
Yeah.
ups and all of those. And, I've said to you before, I'll never yuck somebody's yum, but some of those things don't necessarily do it for me. But there were a lot of actually victims of SA or stalking who said that there's a lot of victims who actually really like to read these types of dark
Mm.
romance novels because it allows them to take more control of experiencing that type of situation and
Yeah.
experience it in a controlled way in which they can shut the book and it allows them to process their thoughts and feelings about it. And
Yeah.
so it makes me wonder if the way that she has decided as a writer to process her thoughts and feelings about it is to write some of these stories that in which the male characters and the plot lines are a little on the dark romance side in terms of stalkery and
Yeah.
you can't avoid this love. I'm gonna love you no matter what, that kind of thing, which the
Yeah.
girlies love, and almost every like we're fated, we're mated, we're bonded, it's like I'll wait till you to figure it out, but it's you and I are meant to be together, which happens in a lot of books.
Right. Yeah. I think it's like a lot of people talk about like, oh, you're romanticizing like this darkness and this obsession. It's like, I wouldn't, yes, but also I think that there's a different word for it. I think it's not
Yeah.
romanticizing. It's like fictionalizing it in a way that is easier to process real experience.
Yes. And
And
so many
it's
women
like a trauma
it
thing, it's a
it is.
therapy thing, yeah.
And so
It's
many
cathartic.
it's cathartic, and so many women have experienced, I mean, I don't the statistic is about 1 in 4, have experienced some
Yeah,
sort of trauma when it comes to men in general. And so it's just a way to be able to process a lot of that. And I think that's something to just appreciate about kind of dark romance in general.
mhm,
And appreciate about how she has built her world and some of the relationships, is that it scratches an itch, I think in brains to be able to want to
yeah,
read about these types of relationships and romances in a setting that appeals to people like you and me, which I was actually thinking about earlier today, how you one of the reasons you and I are such good friends is we both love, all things spooky ooky, but our aesthetic is so hilariously different.
so
Like
different.
which is so funny because you were like, "Let me cover my walls in the skulls and the dead bugs," and I
Yeah,
love your aesthetic, but, for me, I'm like, that would be, like, the perfect Airbnb stay for me on, like, a spooky September,
mhm,
October night, whereas I have, like, oranges and, like, pink colored things, but
yeah,
yet somehow I'm still, a spooky ooky girl at heart, and so it's just
yeah.
hilarious to me that our, like, visual aesthetic is so different, and
It's
I
intriguing. It's
it is.
intriguing, right? And, like, for me, it's intriguing, and I love it so much that I adopt it as, like, my personal style
Yep.
because uh, the reading it, the music, the television, like, anything that has to do with, like, some sort of, like, gothic dark, I connect with it in a way that, like, I don't really know how to express this part of myself, so this media allows me to do that, and then that express goes into my clothing choices, my earrings. I mean, I have gothic crows on my earrings. This is my academia outfit.
I looked, I was like, "I have all bright colors."
I will be taking this jacket off at some point because it's very hot in my booth closet.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
it's pretty warm. It gets a little hot, so
Yep,
but anyways, yeah, I express it outwards, and you don't have to. You feel it on the inside and you're like, "This is who I am at my core,"
yep.
but you don't see it, and I'm like, "This is who I am at my core, and everybody's gonna know it, damn it."
I do wonder if it's the commonality that we have of being Minnesota girlies with, like, the fall and, like, I I know you miss that having moved to Southern
So much.
California.
Yes.
I still get some of it over here on the East Coast now, but
Mhm.
there's nothing like a Midwestern fall, you know? There's nothing
Yes.
like the
Oh my
colors
god.
change. My mom might come out to visit me in October, and I said, "If you do that, we're going up to the Finger Lakes, and we
Go
are gonna go be the stereotypical New Yorker, and we're gonna go see the colors. We're gonna
Oh my gosh,
go
please
do
go
the
up to
fall."
Beacon.
Yes.
Go up to Beacon, take the train. Take
Mhm.
the train up there so you can see all the colors and you just get to look at it. Go to the apple orchards.
Yep.
It's my favorite. I I think reading these books kind of puts me in that setting that I can no longer be
And,
in.
like, our favorite
Yeah.
season of the year. Like,
Misty,
fall
cold.
yes, fall
Yeah.
is my favorite season of the year. I love a
100%.
spring. Spring is my second, summer is my third, and winter is my least.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Yes, I think I'm fall, winter, spring, summer. I hate summer. So good thing I live in Southern California, good old
Yes.
sunny California.
Yep.
But yeah, so I think that this book was such a great hook back into like dark things. And there were parts of it that I was like, "Ugh, this is like very uncomfortable to read," but I wasn't turned off by it. I just was like, whoa, yikes, not for me.
Wow. You couldn't be talking about waking up naked being drawn in the middle of the woods.
No, God, no. Or I couldn't be talking about being on a slab surrounded by a bunch of men, dirty old white men. Yeah, so there's a lot of things in this book that like
Yeah.
were like, whoa. Okay, let's talk about just the book.
Yep.
The setting is Mortimer University, which is not a school with magical powers.
Nope.
It is not a Hogwarts. It is not that kind of dark academia read. It is real life. It is a rich kid legacy school. And it's
It's a
just college.
Dartmouth, it's a Yale,
It's an Oxford.
yeah, it's not
Yeah.
that's actually the best. It's an Oxford, really, is what it
Yes.
is. It's a
It's got weird
British
traditions.
400-year-old school, but it
Yeah.
feels like it's set very much in like the North Carolina mountains.
Yes. Yeah. And like there's like there's cliffside and the ocean is nearby or water is nearby. There's a
Mhm.
lighthouse. It feels very, yeah, like Maine, Connecticut.
Yep.
It's like rich kid Connecticut land.
Yep.
Like that's what it feels like. So we start off at Mortimer University as the setting. Our main character is Salem Salazar, and the book starts with a suicide.
Yep.
So, trigger warning, everybody listening, we will be talking about this throughout the episode. This book very heavily leans on death and suicide, so take care while listening, and assault. Okay, so it starts with a death. A mysterious girl is about to jump off a cliff, and she does. And shortly after that, a couple chapters later, we discover a body on a beach. Like it was so easy for me to be like, "Oh my God, this book is great."
Mhm.
Because it was so immediate and it was so murder mystery
Yep.
right away. And I didn't know it was going to be like that. So I was like, "Oh my God, is it like a crime book?" I didn't realize that.
I purposely told you nothing other than, Loretta, you
You
have to
should
read
read
this.
this. And you know me listening to Morbid and Two Girls, One Ghost and
Yep.
all my spooky podcasts too. And right away, this book got me. It is broken up into 3 parts, which I found really interesting: death, decay, and delirium.
Yeah, yeah, you're better at like doing marks than I am.
Yeah, I think it's death, decay, and delirium. And it's this like progression of the thing that like is running the story, and then like
Mhm.
what we're dealing with is like these deaths, and then into her love story.
Yep.
So the book itself is beautiful. Blue pages. We
Yes.
love a sprayed edge. The
I
each
mean,
chapter there's
hello.
yes, hello. There's like character art, which was great. There's each chapter has a quote from something, which I
Some of
found
them are a little cuckoo, but like
so yeah.
art for each
Art.
chapter with a little
Yeah.
quote. Like,
Yes.
I
It's a very beautifully
love
made book.
the thought and the detail that goes into picking a picture for each chapter and to picking a quote. What I would really love to do, and again, I think that you were probably a better college student than I was,
Mm.
but really kind of delving in and dissecting kind of the purpose of each photo and the purpose of each quote. Like, is the quote for the photo, is the quote for the chapter, and really kind of digging into a lot of that. But the
Yes.
thought process that goes behind this, and I know we'll talk about it later because there's another thing that this author has done that is very thoughtful.
Mhm.
I think is just really, really cool. And you don't see that a lot. So, like,
Yes.
major shout out to RuNyx for that, for sure.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she's done it for Gothicana as well, which I think is
Yes.
really great.
She really immerses herself in the world that she has created in so many ways. And let's just touch on that way. She makes a playlist for every book.
Which I knew you would love.
And I had no idea it was there. And I didn't even see it in the back of the book. I just went to her website to just get information and was like, I like to know about the author when I start a new author's book. And I went to her website and it had in every book, she has a playlist.
Mm-hmm.
And it's usually between the two main characters. And so it was Kaz and Salem's playlist. And it was all these amazing songs. You got Sleep Token on there. You've got all of these like emo, dark stuff on there. I loved so much. And she does have it in the back of her book of listen to the music. Here is the playlist.
Yep.
It's on Spotify. I fully enjoyed it. I listened to the whole thing before I was about 5 chapters in, then listened to it at the end. And so many of the songs started to make sense. The Sexy Time songs, I was like, shit. Like it was very, very good. Yes, super thoughtful.
Yep.
Really enjoyable, and huge props to RuNyx for the work that she put in for the playlist, for the artwork, for the quotes. Yes, even though the quotes were kooky, we had quotes from H.P. Lovecraft, we had quotes from Jane Eyre, we had quotes from Picture of Dorian Gray, we had quotes from Frankenstein, and I think each one is a foreshadow to what is ahead in the chapter, based on one right before the epilogue, which is like, dear reader, spoiler, I married him. Like, and I was like, okay.
Yep. Yeah.
So there was
spoiler.
I was like, okay, do I need to read this? There were also 2 epilogues from 2 different points of view.
And I was there when you read both of them.
I think it was fully unnecessary. I know, I was sitting there going, why
You're
is
like,
there 2?
There's another one.
Yes, I did not understand. I think that I didn't think we needed it, but props to whatever RuNyx was thinking of. Let's get both perspectives, because it's not a full dual perspective, but we do get into Kaz's head and we do get into Salem's head. Now, who the fuck are we talking about? Main characters and who we will be casting today is Salem Salazar, who is our main character, Kaz Vanderwall, aka James Vanderbeek.
I know.
In my head, I was
but
like,
there's another guy with a Vander something in his name too. So
yes,
it's all
it is just so
old timey names that cracks me
rich
up.
Connecticut trust fund baby hedge fund names.
Yep.
Then we've got Aditi, no last name.
No, none. None whatsoever.
No last name. Melissa, no last name.
Nope, none.
Baron Whitmore, Dr. Merlin, Dr. Bain.
And
I think that's it.
That's it. It's a short list. There's not that many characters.
There are other characters. We've got her mom. We've got her sister. We've got Kaz's brother.
Yep.
Those characters kind of come in and out in different ways. There's Laura, the blowjob girl. Yikes. That scene, I was like, whoa, I need to take a walk.
Yeah.
And there's like minor characters, but for the sake of today, we are only going to cast those 7.
Yep.
Salem and Kaz are our main characters. And overall, this book is dark academia. She is a forensics criminology student.
She loves murder.
She loves death. I'm a weird
murder.
Girl and I love death. I get it.
We all do. We're all millennial girlies.
She's a little bit too weird about it. I do agree with like the first couple chapters where her sister's like, what the fuck? I also was like, girl, what the fuck? Like, are you well? This feels like,
yeah.
I hope you were seeing a child psychologist at some point, and I don't think she was.
But we do need those weird girlies who end up becoming like the female morticians of the world.
For sure.
You know?
Yes. Yes. It's strange that she's like, wow, there's a body on the beach. They
What
find a
should
body
I
on the
do?
beach.
Let me go investigate it.
Right, exactly.
And it's like,
That's how
girl,
she
you're 19 years old. You're in
and that's how she
college.
meets the love of her life.
Ugh.
And he finds his muse is over an unnamed dead body who we never figure out who it is.
No, he sees her investigating and he goes, ugh, gorge.
Gorge. Yeah.
Gorge.
Oh, I love her. Look at her golden eyes and snake-like hair.
They all have golden eyes, don't they?
Right. Like, okay, sir, chill. Yeah, there were things about this book that I did only give it 3 stars.
Fair. That is totally fair.
I
I
enjoyed it.
probably would be
I
like
did.
3.5 to 4.
Yeah.
I think
I enjoyed it.
You're a little bit more critical than I am. I go, that was fun.
Well,
Then I put it down.
it started off so strong, and then
It doesn't end strong.
it does not end strong.
No,
it
it doesn't.
ends all over the place and so fast. So fast. And so it was like, this is a murder mystery.
Wrap it up.
Yes, it was like, this is a murder mystery. We're going to have a tumultuous, dark relationship. There's some friendships. Oh, I forgot. This is a murder mystery. That's right. It's a murder mystery. Love, 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 love. Oh, don't forget it's a murder mystery. And that's how I kind of felt like the pacing was, where I was like, yeah, I want to know what the hell is going on here. Why are these people dying?
And oh crap, we got to solve this murder in the last 20 pages.
Like, these students are dying. There's 2 secret societies, like all these things. So you're like trying to put the pieces together, and that's what keeps you into the book. And then, like, if you I would zoom out once in a while and go, what the fuck am I reading? Like, and then I would zoom back in because it's like, well, I want to know what I want to know that. Like,
Yeah.
right, I wanted that information. And then it wraps up so fast and so respectively, predictably.
Yeah.
Like, duh, it was the professors. Like, of course.
Of course it was the creepy old white men in the room.
It was the creepy
When
old
if it is
white
or
men.
not.
We knew that when Laura was on her knees. Like, you know, it wasn't anything surprising to me. I think the surprising part was Dr. Bane and how he basically sacrificed his own daughter. Like, I was like, fuck. Like, ew. That was surprising. The rest of it just wasn't. I knew even from the first chapter that the person jumping off the cliff, sister. Like, boop. I was like, oh, that's her sister. She did. Like, got it. Like, you know, it's just, and it's supposed to be like unnamed person. Okay, named person. Like, we know who it is right away. Was really sad about that because I was like very excited to read it. Like we said, like I was like, oh, I was hooked right away. And then it felt like,
and then as soon as she was like, I had a sister, and you're like, oh, that's a bitch that killed herself at the beginning, isn't it?
Did? Yeah, and then dad's dead, and it's like, oh, well, dad was involved in the bad society, you know, so and I don't know if RuNyx wanted to give us the pieces to put it together, but I don't think she intended to give us the pieces to put together that easily, and then we were still hanging out, like, being like, okay, so, like, we think we know what happened. Is this what happened? And then it's like, Kaz is painting me and holding me, and now we're fucking, and, like, you know, and it's like, okay, like, we knew that was going to happen too. I think.
But he's transporting me while I'm asleep.
Yeah.
And undressing me without my permission in the middle of the woods and laying me on a slab so he can paint me naked. And then I wake up and I'm like, the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Naked in the middle of the woods for anybody to walk upon. That was the one scene where I was like,
I would say that was one of the scenes where I was like, okay. Like, he traps her at one point in, like, his studio, and, like, he's such a mysterious painter, and this is Kaz who we're talking about. Kaz is such a mysterious painter, and everyone's like, I heard that he sold the painting for millions, and, like, she's his muse. I would have been fucking pissed if somebody unveiled a painting of me naked in front of my mother at a gala, and her mother goes, He
Oh,
loves you.
he loves you.
Fuck,
Oh,
excuse me? No. Like, I would have been sitting there like, no, he hates me.
mortified.
He's
Mortified.
yeah, that's maybe why it's called Mortimer University, because she was mortified at the university. Um, and that's like the overarching theme of this book too, right? Is shame, is like making people feel shame and breaking them down.
Mm-hmm. That's essentially
I,
what one of these secret societies does, is they
that's
just make
exactly
these
what they do.
young girls feel shameful about themselves because they were forced into sex acts with these old white trashy men, and
Yes.
they feel so shameful that they throw themselves off a cliff.
Yes. Yeah. And it's fun for the society to do that, to watch these rich legacy students break them down. It's very
Listen,
psychotic.
I'm all about eat the rich, but let's not do it through sexual coercion.
For sure. And like these professors are also like the same. Most of them were students. Like that's why it didn't make sense to me as to why they were doing this. Why
Yep.
did they choose to do this? That was never explained. It was just like, it's these creepy white dudes, and here's what they're doing. And they're rich and dumb, and they're using these girls as pawns. And I was sitting there going, okay, why? Did we find out why? How did this start? Who started this? And that chapter was, 3 chapters to the end. And then we got 2 epilogues at a wedding. And I was like, oh, Jesus Christ.
And a
Like,
dog. They got a dog, right? Did they get a
oh, yeah,
dog?
I think they got
And
a
a
dog and
dog.
named it after her other dog, which don't do that, guys. PSA, if you get a dog that dies and then 10 years later or 20 years later, you get another dog, don't name it that other dog. That's hella disrespectful to the memory of that other dog. Give that dog a new name. That is
But
a
at
different
least
dog.
she's now like a full forensic investigator, and she gets to be paid for investigating dead bodies.
And her husband gets to like just show up on the crime scene and like, that's fine.
And because her husband is such a famous artist, the paparazzi follow him everywhere. So
Yes. Oh,
she's
yeah,
now
he's so
married to the
famous.
hottest, most famous artist, and the paparazzi follow them everywhere, and she gets to investigate dead bodies, and it's the
Yep.
dream life.
And Aditi ends up with Baron, the other rich boy in the society, and Melissa, who was the offering victim. Melissa ends up with the masked boy who saved her, and they're all at the wedding. Now, Melissa, no last name, and Aditi, no last name, are her best friends. Why don't they have last names?
I think one can assume with the name Aditi what the ethnic
For sure.
background is. Melissa, none whatsoever. So, when it comes to casting, as we all know, I like to make casting as diverse as possible. So I made
Yes.
those women as diverse as possible.
Mhm.
But it just goes to show, especially with the DT, I was like, we can give these diverse characters last names.
Well,
We
and
can do it.
these felt so throwaway, and
Yeah.
in my tablatures of creating our casting sheet, I struggled writing down things for Aditi. This isn't a popular book, so this information of characters is not on a fan wiki or anything.
Mm-hmm.
This is all stuff I had to pull from the book. And it was really hard because there wasn't a lot of
Not a lot.
explanations of these characters and substance to these side characters that are supposed to be her best friends, which kind of made me mad because I was like,
Yep.
they matter too. Why are they here if they're not important to further the plot line? Let's give them a fucking last name and a good introduction, not Aditi. She's a barista. And it's like,
Yep.
cool.
My approach for casting those 2 characters was, I said, I'm going to find 2 young actresses whose career is definitely on the beginning side of things,
Hmm.
who are young, diverse actresses
Totally.
who I know have played the friend trope before.
Yeah. It's
You
great
know?
for an adaptation. It's great for an adaptation because it's like, okay, cool. Give them a last name in the script revision.
Yep.
Make them whatever ethnicity you want. It does not matter. Like you can, Aditi, you obviously are going to be a Middle Eastern or Indian descent. Like
Yep.
I love that. That's great. But yeah, Melissa can be whoever. It just made me sad that they felt so throwaway, and there was like an inconsistency in like, well, why does this character get a last name and these 2 don't?
Yeah.
Um,
Why do the white men get last names and the only female that gets the name is
is Salazar. Right.
Salazar? Which at least
Right.
it's like, she's described as having olive skin, and Salazar is more of a Latin sounding name. So,
Hmm.
for me also, led towards some diversity
For
in
sure.
there, which I thought was great.
Yes.
And I also, if you look at the fan art specifically on RuNyx's Instagram page,
Which we will get to.
she's curvy girl,
She's curvy. Yeah.
which I think is
Yeah, she's curvy.
great.
We will talk more about this, though.
Yep.
In with the casting choices. I just want to just wrap up just about the
Yep.
book, and then we'll jump into casting because I think we're both getting anxious.
I know, like,
to be
we
like,
want to talk about it. We want to talk
We're
about
both
it.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
The things I loved about this book, I think
Yes.
let's both share these.
Yep.
Things I loved was the first chapter had me right away. Spookiness, the setting had me right away. Loved
Yes.
it. I think the art was great. I think the thought put into it was great to a certain point, which leads me then to my negatives, which I think she kind of got lost in the plot. The plot got lost in the details in the book. I think it was too long. I think the end wrapped up too quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to accuse somebody of using AI, but there were some writing choices that I think that the publishers maybe shouldn't have overlooked. I don't understand
Yes.
why, when a conversation was being had between two people, phrases like the other girl responded. Why are we not using the character's name?
Yep. I
I
think
have never seen that
it's
ever.
editing too. And it makes me wonder how quickly it was rushed through the editing process. Did it go
Yeah.
through an alpha read, a beta read? I know there's a lot of, and RuNyx is no longer an indie author,
Right.
but
And
there's a
yeah,
lot of indie authors like on TikTok and other social media who are asking people to do alpha and beta reads and help them catch those things because they can't afford
Yeah.
editors. And so it just makes me wonder in terms of the publisher, which is Bramble,
hmm
what the editing process is like, or are they
yeah,
trusting RuNyx at this point because RuNyx has written all of the Darkverse series, which I do want to read the Darkverse series,
hmm
that they've written all of the Darkverse series, that they had already written Gothicana. Are they trusting at this point that they don't need as much of an editing process? Because it
yeah.
should go at least through one or two editors, in my opinion.
It just was such a weird writing style
Uh-huh.
choice that kind of felt like it came out of nowhere, and it took me out of what I was reading because I was sitting there going, sorry, what other girl? Is there a third person? It was a conversation between two people, and it would say the other girl responded, and I was like, is there another person there?
Yeah.
It just felt very confusing to me. So that's something I didn't like. My number one ick of this entire book
Uh-huh.
is this right here. I'm going to read it to you. This is
Ooh,
on
dramatic
page
read.
350.
Oh, wait, can I follow along? Let me go to page
Yeah,
350.
absolutely. This is page 350 after Laura Lara has just committed suicide
I'm
and
here.
drowned herself
I'm
in
ready.
the lake.
Yep.
Here we go.
I think I know exactly
Aditi
where you're
fitted.
starting.
Yep, here we go. So somebody has just died. Horribly. They have all just been questioned by the police. And they've decided to go to a pub and get some food. And here we go. Their food came, and they all dug in, Salem taking a huge, completely unladylike bite of her chicken and mashed potatoes. Kaz took a massive bite of his grilled cheese sandwich, inhaling half of it in one go. She could now see why he ordered 4 of them. Baron leaned forward, cutting into his grilled fish. He placed a piece on Aditi's plate and ate the rest. Aditi tried the fish, wrinkled her nose at him, and turned to her pasta. It feels weird eating like this after what happened. Yeah, my thoughts exactly, bitch. I was like, did I just read a paragraph of what everyone's eating?
But
Why are we doing that?
There's a little
Oh,
more.
but wait, there's more.
But there's more.
Melissa spoke from the side, chewing her pasta delicately. That's the fucked up thing about it. I can't stop thinking how she was looking at us. It was eerie. Aditi nodded. What do you think, Salem? Your expert opinion. Salem forced herself to swallow the food, the taste completely bland on her tongue, the lump tight in her throat. Her insides were jittery. Lara's face morphed into Olivia's face, her lack of expression becoming her sister's, and Salem bit the inside of her cheeks to stay in the present. Okay. I
You should
think
read
that's the end
audiobooks
of
or
the food.
something.
Thank you. I'm an audiobook narrator. First pass, blind read. I had a bookmark. I don't know where it went. Anyways, what the fuck was that?
I don't know.
I was sitting there being like, hello? My first thought was, why are we reading about people eating? And then my second thought was, okay, they're acknowledging that it's weird that they're eating too. Is this like are we looking into a mirror? Like, it was so weird to me that
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what the fuck? That is one of the first places I immediately was like, this book is unhinged. Like, I was like, I like it. I really liked it.
We
And then I
were,
was like, where are we going? Are we trying to hit a word count here? What's happening?
yeah.
It was very weird. It was very weird to me.
When we were
And then
sitting
it
at the
just goes
pool,
into
you
this.
were complaining about that. You were like, what the fuck is this paragraph about food?
And I was like, 4 grilled cheeses? Who eats 4 grilled cheeses? That dude's going to be backed up for weeks. Like, I literally was like, somebody get Kaz a laxative. Like, that was my number one ick of the book.
Yeah.
Okay. Your likes and your dislikes.
I think they're all the same. I was hooked in, and I texted you really early in the book, and then I didn't want to tell you when I finished it. I was like, oh, the ending was not as good.
Mhm.
But I was so hooked in by the setting, the world, the small world building, and the setting building.
Mhm.
I was like, this is great. I loved the description of Salem, and I love that Salem felt really relatable to, like, Salem is what I wish I was like as a college student, you know? And I really loved that because, and I'll talk about this all day, every day to anybody who ever wants to know my history as a college student. But I was 100+ pounds heavier than I am now. And I was in and out of a lot of depression. And so to hear this description of like a curvy girl who was, still working through her confidence, but able to like bag the super hot guy on campus, I was like, yes,
Yeah.
this hooks into like what I wish my college experience was like.
Mhm.
I loved all of that. And so those to me, really were the things that I appreciated the most on the book about the book. I
Mhm.
Like you said, it just I was like, that was it? That was the solution
Yes.
to the murder?
You're like, did I miss something? Like,
What? Huh?
all this books, like, I'm going back through the 500 pages being like, we couldn't have brought this up sooner and like had a better resolve or like
Yeah.
more information. What's going on?
And it was, like you said, very predictable too. And predictable isn't
Yeah.
necessarily bad, but it was just, if you're going to be predictable about it, don't wrap it up in 10 pages.
Yeah.
It
Literally,
truly
it was
felt
10
like she went
pages.
like, "Oh crap, I gotta wrap up this," because she
Yeah.
focused on the relationship part of it, which, yeah, there were some iffy parts, but that's part of dark romance, is that there were
Right.
some questionable parts about this romance, and
Yes.
that's why we all read it, and that's fine. And then it was like, "Oh
Hmm.
shit, there's murders. I gotta solve these." It was way too rushed, way too quick, and I'll be very curious when you read Gothic how you feel about the difference in the pacing between the two books, because
Okay.
I think there's a big difference.
Okay.
And that's one of the biggest like pros and cons differences between the two. So whenever you get around to it, because I don't think it's on your list of books for season.
It is. Yeah. It's probably a next summer read
Yep.
or spring read.
So I'll be very curious to hear your difference in opinion about that. Just to me, it read like, oh, she had to finish this quick.
Yeah.
Was there a deadline per the contract with the publishing house? Like
Yeah.
that's kind
Like,
of how it felt to me.
I think maybe she even looks back on it and is like, ooh, I should have maybe focused a little more on furthering the plot and getting to the point
Yep.
rather than Salem Salazar as an audiophile who likes the sound of Kaz's voice because it scratches her brain. Like, she's like a, yes, like girly.
Yeah.
She's like one of those girls. And so I was like, all right.
Unless that is the point and there shouldn't have been a murder mystery involved.
Right. Then, like,
Then don't
let's
make it a
solve that
murder
and then
mystery.
be like, wow, cool. I'm glad this thing happened and it
Yep.
led me to this person and into my career or something.
Yep. Like solve the murder early
Great.
on and then have the romance part after.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
fine.
Okay. That is our recap and spoilery check in on what we thought of Enigma. And now let's fan cast it. Okay, let's fan cast.
Woo! I'm always so excited, and I love this new format so much.
Thank
It makes for
you.
a much more fun
Yes.
experience
Yeah,
for
it
us.
moves quicker. It's like,
Yep.
okay, we love it. Oh, we hate it. Oh my God, I see how it's the same. We've incorporated some new graphics here, and we have added a little bit of character breakdowns where we
Love
have
it.
incorporated some fan art. And we will, of course, tag all of the artists in our postings and in the show notes for their lovely work of these characters. No AI art, guys. Real art, real artists. Yeah, and it's a little bit more of a character breakdown of who are we looking at, and it leads us to really look at our choices from a casting director's lens of when they want to do an adaptation of something. So, starting off with our lead gal, Spooky Ooky Girl, Salem Salazar. She is an outsider. She's a survivor. She is a seeker of truth. Salem is the black sheep of a powerful family marked by a childhood trauma, social ostracism, and a relentless curiosity about death. The girl likes a dead body, I guess. Her
But
personality
not
is
that
just
way.
not that way. Yes,
But not that way.
that's too far. I would immediately have closed the book and set it on fire. Um, Personality, Salem's psychological complexity, her detachment, analytical mind, and difficulty with trust are both her shield and her wound through her relationship with Kaz and her friendships with Aditi and Melissa, no last names. She learns to accept love, embrace vulnerability, and find meaning beyond survival. Her arc is one of transformation from observer to participant, from victim to agent, from silence to voice. Appearance. All right. This is where we're getting into this and where we
Mm-hmm.
go. Who did we picture? Salem is described as striking and unusual on the outside. She has wild, dark, curly, snake like hair that falls down her back. She has sun kissed skin, a short and curvy frame, and blazing golden eyes, a mix of brown and hazel, that look like liquid gold in the sun and glowing topaz in the dark. She also has a hard nipple problem, apparently. I added that myself because this bitch, every time something happens, she's like, and my nipples were hard. And I was like, girl, do you need help or a sweater?
Well, yeah, they're in a spooky ooky like main setting college. She should be wearing sweaters a lot.
I was like, girl, get this under control. Somebody's going to say something.
Also, if I remember correctly, she doesn't like to wear underwear. I'm trying not to blend Enigma and Gothicana. I was like, is it Salem that just refuses to wear underwear the entire time?
Yeah, that actually might be Gothicana.
Is it? Okay, spoiler
might
alert. In
be.
Gothicana, the lead just refuses to wear underwear the entire time.
Okay, so this is just seems to be a trend that RuNyx likes. Is one Salem has hard nipples and the other girl likes to go commando. Good for
Yep.
you. Like, it's a women power. Now we've already talked about this. The curvy girl. Love. Like olive skinned, curvy girl, totally different look. She has glasses. Like, love that. I don't think Hollywood would even do it.
No.
No. I think that they would not do that because fat girls can't be sexy. Bullshit. I hate that so fucking much. So I think that they would Hollywoodize it, which led to a little bit of my choice. And so let's get into them.
Okay.
Ready? Okay.
Ready.
Our first actors on deck to play Salem Salazar would be. Oh my God. Fuck.
Huh. Okay.
Yours is really good.
I don't know who Alexa Demi is.
Oh my God. Okay. So let me go first. Alexa Demi is my choice. Alexa Demi is from Euphoria. She is the girl that's like,
Oh,
is this
yeah.
fucking play about us? And she's like, Rue? Like, she's like the girl. And she plays this like very fierce, like claws out character.
Yep.
She's real small. She's not curvy. I mean, she's like got big old titties, but like she is not a curvy girl. But she has this really beautiful, naturally curly hair. She's got these lovely
Yep.
dimples. She's got these big hazel eyes. She does not look to be fully white. I don't know what her full ethnicity is. But she's got this like, she looks so different. She's so beautiful, but she's beautiful in
Mhm.
such a different way that overall, that's how I decided to view Salem. But the only problem was that she wasn't curvy. I was looking at Euphoria because I was looking into Barbie, who is a
Mhm.
character in Euphoria as well, who's like the goth, curvy girl who's with the hot guy who may or may not also be in this cast. Um, and that actor. And I just didn't think that she was the right character to play it. I think she's the right body type,
Agreed.
but I didn't think she was the right actress to play it. So I went
And
with Alexa Demi instead.
okay, interesting. Yeah, so you and I have this problem where I'm always like, "Who's that?" And it's because I'm just terrible with names. Now I remember Euphoria.
Yes.
Okay, I see it. I see it.
Hmm. And I
I
loved
would
this picture because of the blue and the fan art from the
Yep.
previous slide. I was like, okay,
Yep.
girl.
Yep. I think I chose Auli'i Cravalho for very similar reasons.
Hmm.
For me, she's a little bit more on the curvier side, but she's still not curvy, you know?
Agreed.
But she, because of her ethnic background,
Hmm.
being from the South Pacific, those people are sturdy.
Yeah.
They're
Hmm.
just a sturdy group of people, and I find all of any South Pacific man to be just, like, so wildly attractive. I'm like, if I
Hmm.
end up marrying a man from the South Pacific, it's just they're all wildly handsome. And so for me, it's just I think she's muscular, she's beautiful, she's strong. She is curvy in
Well,
for a Hollywood sense.
why do you get that sense? Who has she played before, Adara?
I've been staring at the water.
She's Moana. She's a
She's
warrior.
Moana. She's a
Yeah, she's
warrior.
Moana. She's Janice Ian in the
Yep.
Mean Girls musical.
Yep. But she
Yeah.
also just got done doing cabaret, So
Oh
like
yeah, that's right.
she has the action chops to be ugly too, because that
Hmm.
this version of Sally Bowles is not pretty. Not that any version of Sally Bowles should be pretty, but this version
Yeah.
of Sally Bowles is not a pretty version of Sally Bowles.
Mm-mm.
And so, her hair may not be as curly, her eyes may not be, as hazel. And I hate, kind of ethnically ambiguously casting, brown people just in general. I like
Yeah,
to be a little bit more specific if I
for sure.
can. But that being said,
You're
I
better
I
than Hollywood in that sense.
Yeah, I know. At least I recognize when I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And I know that she has the chops to be super vulnerable and then come out in terms of the strength that Salem shows towards the end. And
Yeah.
then I also just think that she's super cool. I just really like
Yeah.
Aolihi.
This is an amazing choice. I fully concede right away. I think she's
Great.
absolutely Salem. I think she's perfect. Moana is going to be our Salem Salazar. I think it
Yay.
makes perfect sense. Throw some hazel contacts on her, curl up her hair a little bit more, and it could be even more curly, and we just don't know it
Yep.
because Hollywood.
Yep.
Excellent choice. I think this is amazing. Moana, welcome to Mortimer University, you sick fuck. Okay. Nobody tell anyone I called Moana a sick fuck. Sidebar, Moana 2 sucked. Okay.
I
Hot
didn't see it.
take. Now, Kaz.
Yeah.
Kaz Vanderwall.
This one
Here
was
we go.
hard for me, and then I locked in on it. I was hard. It was the last one for me to cast, and then
Okay.
I said, "Oh, found it," and then I
Hmm.
I, I locked in on it. But yeah,
This one was easy as fuck for me. And
okay,
I am ready to go hard.
go hard.
I'm ready to go hard. Okay. So Kaz Vanderwall is enigmatic, Enigma. Wow. Artist. He's an artist, an avenger, and a lover. Kaz is a post-grad artist with a criminal past, a legacy. Oh, I forgot that. He went to jail because he killed a man. He
We
literally
totally
murdered
forgot.
someone from
We totally
her
forgot about
past.
that.
Fully breezed over the fact that he's like, I was in jail because I killed a man.
He's
That's
a
where you saw
felon.
me as a child. Yeah, that's the other part. He like knew her for her whole life. Okay, we left a lot of stuff out. Just pick up the book. We didn't spoil everything. We did this for you guys. Anyways, a legacy name, and a mission of vengeance. He's scarred by the loss of his family and brother. He infiltrates Mortimer's secret societies to expose the truth and find justice. His personality, his art is a reflection of his inner turmoil and dark, which is interesting because it's just naked ladies, but sure.
Yep.
It's dark, provocative, and obsessed with death and desire. Oh, good. They have that in common. It's like Morticia and Gomez. Kaz's relationship with Salem is both a source of healing and a test of trust. He is at once a protector, provocateur, and a partner. His journey is about reclaiming agency, confronting the legacy of violence, and choosing love over revenge. I do think that that character arc is present,
Yes.
sort of, until the end where I was like, oh, you're not very different. She just was like, wow, you're a bad person. I love it. Okay. Appearance. This is how this person came to mind almost immediately. That
Yep.
and the audiophileness of his voice. Kaz has appearance. Kaz has longish hair and a killer jawline. Salem describes him as broad-backed with a lithe frame. He has light-colored eyes, high cheekbones, and a strong dark brow. His hands and arms are covered in tattoos. My type of man. Here we go.
Oh, okay.
I don't have a clue. I don't have a clue.
Yeah,
I don't have a clue. Okay.
I
Adara,
also don't have a clue.
okay. Here's what we've got. Adara, you've got Harris Dickinson.
Yes,
And
I do
I've
have
got
Harris Dickinson.
Oscar Porter. Who are these
Yeah.
men? I know who mine is. I don't know who. You go first. I don't know who's Harris Dickinson.
Harris Dickinson is on the up and coming. He was the lead opposite Nicole Kidman in Baby Girl, the kind of Dom sub movie that came out
I
around
did
the
not watch
Christmas
that.
time
I was
of
too
last
scared.
year. It's fine. It's fine.
I was too afraid to watch it.
No, it's
Okay.
totally fine. And so
Okay.
it's a little bit of a typecast for him because his film, I didn't watch it, but I was reading about it because I was like, I was
So you have
going.
no idea if it's fine. I could be walking into a lion's den. How dare you?
I watched Baby Girl. Baby Girl is fine, but the first movie that he did sounds like it's also kind of a very similar. So I was like, I may be typecasting him into a little bit of a domineering, you're going to love me no matter what.
For sure.
But, I was envisioning the vibe, and because I was like, the looks can change. He has the lithe part. He can build up, the muscles a little bit. He has darkish blonde hair. We can, dye his hair. He can grow it out, all of those things. Because I was really struggling finding somebody that like fit the image perfectly,
Right.
that also fit the vibe. And so I said, well, what if I go about for the vibe as well? He really fits the vibe for me because let me tell you, the way he was bending over Nicole Kidman and Baby Girl, I was like, okay. Watch it. I thought it was actually an enjoyable movie.
I'm afraid to watch it, but I might. My husband's working tonight. Maybe I'll watch it when he's not home.
Yeah, I wouldn't watch it with with maybe, if it's your thing, go watch it with your husband. So for me, I was like, it's about the vibe. And he fits the vibe so well.
I do not know this man. Not a clue. But I will look him up.
Yep,
and you do not know who I picked either.
No.
Okay. Oscar Porter. He is not an actor.
Yeah, I don't get the vibe that he's an actor.
No, he is a musician. He is the lead singer of a band called RuNyx.
Okay.
He
Death metal?
is.
Okay.
Yeah. So, this man, this is Kaz to me, hands down. This is immediately when he was introduced, when she starts talking about his voice. Listen, I'm bagging on the fact that this character was like his voice. I am very much the same. When I hear a man's voice sing to me like that, Oscar Porter, Corpse Husband. There is an artist called Corpse Husband who has sadly gone away because the internet harassed him so much to show his face, which was insane.
He's I do know who that is, actually.
That is where my brain went because I went,
Yep.
She likes how he sounds. I can relate to that. And so immediately I mean, this guy, he's got long dark hair. He's got the tattoos. He sounds like him. He's got this. He's very attractive. I love my husband, respect. But this man is so hot. And I think if he walked down a hallway and he was like this artist, everybody would be turning their heads. He's very famous on TikTok.
I've seen him on TikTok.
Yes, he'll do the transitions of like this nerdy dude where he kicks his mirror, he puts his foot up on the mirror, and boom, he's like hanging over the door like this with his foot up.
He's
And
done a
got
few
chains.
acting things on TikTok too, where he's gone from
has.
like the dark, like his eyes
Correct.
darkened.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, I've seen him on TikTok.
He can
Yeah,
act.
let's go with yours. The eyes darkened. Done. Boom.
Yes.
Sold.
He
the eyes
doesn't.
darkened guy.
He doesn't. He's not a famous actor, but he is TikTok famous. He is an artist, a music artist, and he just looks exactly how I picture Kaz. So
Yeah. How tall
Oscar
is he?
Porter.
I'm curious. Do we know?
I don't know how tall he
Let's
is.
take a look.
Let's find out.
Because I will say Harris Dickinson is 6'3", so because that is a thing about
Siri?
Kaz. He's tall.
How tall is Oscar Porter, the lead singer of RuNyx? Wow.
He's 5'10".
Siri's like, I'm having trouble. He's
5'10".
5'10".
Yep.
Well, Siri's fired, by the way. Okay, that's fine. Put on some.
That's fine.
Some
It's like 5'4", so
yeah.
that's fine.
Amazing. He will tower over her regardless. It'll look great.
Yep. Let's do Oscar
Yes.
Porter. Done. Sold.
Love. Sick. Okay, so we've got our Salem, we've got our Kaz, and we're moving in to Dr. Bane.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one, actually.
Okay.
I'm really excited for this. You're gonna either love or hate mine.
Okay, mine was I think I cast mine a little too early before I finished the book, and I was like, I don't feel like I want to change it. I'm just gonna stick with it.
Uh-huh.
Okay, Dr. Bane is fatherly advisor, a secret predator, and scum of the earth.
Yes.
Dr. Bane presents as a kindly academic mentor, but is revealed to be a founding member of the Radical Society, complicit in the abuse and deaths of students, including his own daughter. Fuck this guy. He let a bunch of men assault his daughter, recorded it, and then broke her apart and made her feel shame, so she died.
Yep.
His personality sucks. Okay. His duplicity and rationalizations highlight the theme of evil hiding in plain sight and the ways in which authority can be weaponized. Hence, this is over some chess pieces because he was playing a fucking game the whole time. Yuck. Appearance. Dr. Bane is an older, portly gentleman who looks like a grandfather from a bygone era. This is where I got hung up. He has white hair and a handlebar mustache and a warm smile and twinkling grayish eyes. Okay. So immediately I was like, it's this guy. All right.
Okay.
Do you watch The Gilded Age?
Yeah.
Great.
Every episode. Okay. Yeah, you're going to love or hate mine.
How dare you? How dare you? Bryan Cranston, what are you doing here? Get out of here.
Listen, he's not portly, but also the vibes. We know that he can go from like a nice guy to a not so nice guy on camera.
Oh my God, absolutely.
He's that good. He's that good.
Absolutely. Okay. You have Bryan Cranston. I have Simon Jones of The Gilded Age. We're going to come back to Bryan. Simon Jones. Clearly, I went with the portly gentleman of a bygone era. This is the butler for the Van Ryan household. I'm blanking on his name right now. What is his character's name? Bannister. That's right. Bannister is his name. Bannister. That's right. Loved him. And that's who I pictured right away. Maybe because I was watching season 3 as I was reading this. It had just started and I was like, oh my gosh, amazing. That's who that is to me. Once the book took the turn, I went, I don't think this is the right choice. But I don't want to go back. I'm not going back. This is what I'm going to put forth. So Simon Jones was my choice, who has, I think, been ousted already by Bryan Cranston. But please plead your case.
So I chose Bryan Cranston for a couple of reasons. One, I know he's personally connected to you, and we love to give our family and friends and connections jobs.
I don't
Not that
think
he
Bryan
needs
Cranston is any short of job options, but
Not that he
yes.
needs any help from us and our podcast, but hey, if we can put it out
Right.
there into the universe, let's do it.
And if
I also
listeners are wondering how I'm connected to Bryan Cranston, and I haven't talked about this before, I was in a Broadway
Yep,
show with him called Network. He's lovely, and I adore him and his wife Robin and his assistant Noor, and we still stay in contact. I love him a lot. He just didn't come to my wedding.
I know. I was very mad I didn't get to meet him at your wedding, but
I
I
know. I'm
digress.
very sorry.
But for me, this was another one that was based off of vibes because, as we
Mhm.
know in Hollywood, they don't cast purely based off of how exactly the person looks. And I also think based on who I chose for the next professor, I wanted to have them maybe a little bit more closer in age, but obviously a professor for Dr. Bain who is of fatherly age compared
Yeah.
to the next one.
Okay.
And we know that Brian is of fatherly age because he has kids in their 20s.
Oh, yeah.
Um, he's not portly necessarily, but it was just one of those things where I know that he can be that really nice, really supportive, I'm just here for your college experience, professor, academic advisor, to being the really creepy old fucking white man who is, leading this essentially essay
Criminal behavior.
centered
Yeah.
criminal behavior
Yeah.
underground society.
For sure.
And I knew that he'd be able to make as an actor with the flip of a switch to be
Yep.
able to do that. So I said, you know what? Let's put Brian in there. Let's
Mhm.
do it. Because I also like to stick people in there every once in a while that I know is just going to make you laugh. So.
Easy. Easy. Yeah, I think he's a really good choice. I think we have to look and see who our next professor is in
Mm-hmm.
order to decide. You brought up a really good point about like the age of
Yep.
that, right? Like very fatherly. Who I have casted as the next professor is a little bit closer in age to Brian. So,
And I cast somebody a little bit younger,
okay.
I think. So
Uh-huh.
let's get into that, and then maybe we
Okay.
can decide.
Okay, that sounds good. We'll put a pin in Bryan Cranston and Simon Jones as Dr. Bain, and we're going to move on to Dr. Merlin. Creepy piece of shit. Yes, I'm realizing that this is the first time that you're seeing any of the graphics since I
Yeah.
sent you the casting sheet instead. So I have included elements of his psychology and the red necklace that is a token. He keeps trophies of people that he has killed, and one of those people is Salem's sister. And so she recognizes that necklace. So I've included that in the background here. Dr. Merlin is described as a charismatic monster, a manipulator, and abuser. Dr. Merlin is a celebrated psychology professor and secret leader of the Radical Mortimer Society. He uses his position to groom, manipulate, and destroy vulnerable students, women, collecting trophies from his victims. Personality. His charm masks a sadistic core, and his downfall is precipitated by his own arrogance and Salem's determination. He embodies the dangers of unchecked power and the complicity of institutions. So he's that two-faced motherfucking professor who's like, I'm going to teach you all about psychology by using you all as my experiments. You're
What a
all rats.
dick,
What a dick.
motherfucker.
Ugh. And you just like knew he was bad news bears as soon as he walks in because he's described as Dr. Merlin is well built, ever tight, gray at the temples, wrinkles in the corners of his dark eyes, and bears a scar on his right cheek. Right off the bat, you're like,
Ooh,
that's from
scar on the face.
someone.
Bad
Scar
guy.
on the face. Somebody scratched you. Like those clues were there, which I did kind of appreciate because you could build like who's who. But then I was like, I already know it's this person. Can we get to it? So based on that description, right away when he walked into the lecture hall for this class, I pictured
Oh,
I pictured
okay.
Steve Carell and you pictured Luke Evans.
Yeah, I did. Okay, interesting. You know what? This gives us a really big insight into who maybe has had some hot for teacher fantasies in the past
And what they were. Like,
and what they were.
I was like, ooh, that's Steve Carell.
Okay, who wants to go
Because okay,
first?
okay, because I will go first because Steve Carell, Sean and I were watching the Four Seasons show that Tina
Yep.
Fey and him and Coleman Domingo are all in. Fucking loved that show. Oh my God. So fantastic. And there was parts of Steve Carell's character is with a younger woman. And it's just in a way that I had never seen Steve Carell before. I could kind of see this. And I was like, maybe in the show you want people to think like he had a relationship with Olivia. And maybe we want him to appear that he could be pretty attractive, but also significantly older, so that when you do figure out what's going on, you're like, ew, gross. What the fuck, dude? Um, and one of the things that I know, actually, my husband noted when we were watching it, he goes, is it just me or is Steve Carell like super hot the older he gets? And I was like, yeah, he is. Like, he is like very attractive. And this picture of him, he's throwing daggers. Those are those dark eyes. So I immediately thought of Steve Carell, which works with who I cast, but I'm not sure works with Bryan
Yeah.
Cranston.
Yep.
So
No,
you
you're
have
right.
chosen. Go ahead.
I have chosen Luke Evans. And for me, the reason why is because it was described as he's a groomer. And I know that in the book, he's a professor that a lot of the girls are like hot for teacher for.
Mhm,
And for me, that just had to read like somebody in like their mid to maybe late 40s, at
mhm.
kind of the oldest, somebody who was still like really built, really, not saying that Steve Carell isn't built, but like tall, handsome, good looking, starting to go gray, starting to go wrinkled, somebody that would be age appropriate for me at age 38, not age appropriate for a 19, 20-year-old, college student is,
Yeah.
kind of the way that I was thinking about it.
Mhm,
Cuz I was like, who would I go hot for as a 19-year-old college? And if
mhm,
Luke Evans was my college professor, you better believe I'd be there in the front row taking notes every damn day like,
mhm.
"Hello." Because it seems like these girls were all too willing to literally get on their knees.
Yeah, and it
You
wasn't to
know?
him, but it was to whoever, but it's like,
Yeah,
how
but
are they
all
willing to.
part of the secret society,
Yeah,
and if he's grooming these women to be all of a part of that, that he's gonna be a first step into that grooming because he's like the younger, good-looking professor, let me make the
yeah,
introduction
that's
first step.
that's the psychology of it that he'll go with, is like, "Wow, I'm
Yeah,
I'm attractive and I'm into you," and these girls are gonna go, "Oh my gosh, does my teacher like me?" And then boom, he's got you. No, that
yep.
makes a lot of that. I think, what has he been in recently? Anything?
I mean, I know that I love him from the Hobbit series.
Right.
He's also a musical theater West End boy.
Okay.
He's a singer,
Yeah.
but he's been in some action movies, I think, lately.
Uh, Beauty
That
and the
would
Beast,
just
he was Gaston.
yes, Beauty and the
Duh.
Beast, Gaston.
Oh, he's in Dracula, Fast and the Furious. How old is this man? Oh my gosh, he was born on the Titanic sink day. He's 46. Okay. 6 foot. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know what?
He old enough, like older but still hot professor age.
Yeah, I really think Luke. All right, I'm gonna throw something at you.
Yeah.
What if Luke is Dr. Merlin and Steve Carell is Dr. Bane?
Mm.
Because I also think that Luke Evans and,
I do like the way they look together on that screen.
yeah, and I think Luke and Bryan, Luke Bryan, might be also a little bit too similar in type, like look type, like bone structure, jawline. I'm thinking we go with these two right here.
Let's do it. I like it.
Because I think Steve Carell can be that fatherly figure
Yeah.
too. Like, he's Michael from The Office. He's lovable. He's Dan in real life. Like, we've seen him, and then he's a fucking creep, which we've seen in the morning show.
Yep.
So he can also do both. Sorry, Simon Jones. Sorry, Brian. I love you, Brian.
We'll
I
put
just
him in
think
there
that they're too
somewhere.
close.
We'll put
Yeah.
Brian somewhere else.
All right. So we're doing Dr. Bane as uh Steve Carell and Luke Evans as Dr. Merlin. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Listen, if
creeps.
Steve Carell was my, or if Luke Evans was my Dr. Merlin, I might get murdered.
Yeah, of course. They were like, "Oh, he's into me."
Yep.
And Dr. Bane, on the other hand, is like your advisor, right? Like
Yeah.
he was Salem's advisor, so he was like, "Let me give you good advice." I don't know. I feel like the Simon Jones would be the more surprising, but I think Steve Carell could pull it off too. But like a happier warmer version of him at first, and then that
Yeah.
flip of the switch.
Which we know he can do.
He can absolutely do. Okay, great. Let's move on.
Okay.
Aditi, no last name. Um, Best friend of Salem Salazar. She is a scholarship student. She's a loyal friend and a survivor. Aditi is one of Salem's friends, a brilliant and resourceful student who works at the campus coffee shop, the bookish, what is it called? They refer to it as the BBC, which I was like, what? Like, sure.
The Big Book Cafe or something silly
The
like that.
Big Bookish Cafe. That's what it's
Yeah.
called. The Big Bookish Cafe. And I was like, all right. Weird.
She wrote in her dream coffee shop.
Yeah, it's a coffee shop presented by TikTok. So she works there. They meet each other. She is her barista. Uh, Aditi's personality is warm, intelligent, and resilience provides a counterpoint into Salem's isolation. Aditi's own secrets and relationship with Baron add complexity to her role, and her support is crucial to Salem's survival and healing. Her appearance. This was a doozy to try to put together because she is not described very well.
No.
And it was so frustrating to me. So this is what I pieced together. Aditi is described as having a long neck and a warm smile in her first sentence. Salem thinks she is beautiful like a princess from a fairy tale, and Kaz describes her as looking like a petite fairy. There is nothing mentioned about her hair color, her skin color. I don't know if it's done like that on purpose. It's ambiguous, so you place whomever. I know some characters are like that. So this one was hard, but I think you and I were both on the same page that yes, this is an actor of color, an actress of color, most likely from a Middle Eastern background.
Yes. It's a Hindu
Yes.
name specifically.
Yeah. And so I think we could piece it together. So I've, front and center on this graphic is some latte art
Love it.
because she's Aditi, the latte girl. Okay.
I just sang that in my summer cabaret, actually.
Oh my God, bless. I forgot about that song until very recently. Latte boy. All right. Who we got? I have no idea who that person is.
I don't know who yours is.
Not a clue. Okay. Emmerich Kaur,
I think maybe.
Kaur, Kaur,
Cooler.
Emmerich Kaur. Anyways, she is from Sex Lives of College Girls.
Okay.
She is known to be the slightly autobiographical character of Mindy Kaling in her college years of improv and stand up, and she's a little awkward, and she's got some overbearing parents, and she knows her sexuality. And this photo, she has a very long neck. This is who I pictured when I was reading the book. I love the show Sex Life of College Girls. I think that this is just very like it's the friendly your friendly barista who becomes your bestie, who will tell you how it is, who has her own boy problems, and is very like a strong, independent woman. Yes, because Aditi, no last name, was a Hindu name. We were like, okay, obviously we had the same idea. But I have no idea who Maitreyi is.
Maitreyi Ramakrishnan.
Okay.
So what's really, really interesting is that you and I, these two actresses have something very, very, very similar in common. And that is that Mindy Kaling chose them to play the younger version of herself in a semi-autobiographical TV show.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I think that that is super
Wait,
interesting and
I'm
fascinating that you and I
never
have
have I ever heard
chosen.
of that show.
I know, it's on Netflix, and
Okay.
so I think that's super cool that we both have chosen, like, Mindy Kaling, younger version actress, version that she chose. What I also
Yeah.
think is really cool is that Maitreyi was picked out of 15,000, actresses, from an open call. She's on the up and up, you know?
Yeah.
I've thought about going with one of the Bridgerton actresses, but I decided to go with somebody who is maybe a little bit more earlier in their career, so I went with
Mhm.
Maitreyi. She is my
Hey.
choice. Yeah.
She's cute. She's very princessy, fairy-y. I don't know, girl. I don't see the long neck, and that's it's
That is the
very
only.
clearly Aditi's best feature.
Yep.
I
Uh,
still love my choice. I guess I could go either way. I
oh,
could
no,
go
I'll give
either
it to
way. It's
you.
hard.
I'll give it to you.
Okay.
I think that this is a call to RuNyx to maybe write better character descriptions for
Yes.
her
Give me some more
supporting characters.
details.
Give us some more detail and maybe even some more personality descriptions as well. Let's go with yours and let's have RuNyx. Let's plead to RuNyx to please write better character descriptions for
Pl-
her supporting
yes.
characters because if all we have is
Please.
a long neck, your Emirate has a long neck.
Yes, please. Like, this is crazy.
So let's go with yours. Let's go with yours.
Okay. All
Let's do
right.
yours.
Let's go with
Emmerich
it.
Cower. Cower, Cower, Cower.
Power. Amazing. Of Sex Lives of College Girl. Welcome, a DT, no last name. I want to make up a name for her. Okay. We have Rich Boy Baron. Baron is a postgrad legacy student and member of the Order, the Legitimate Secret Society. Remember, there's two. There's the creepy Mortimer old man's, and then there's the young one. He is both ally and rival to Kaz, helping infiltrate and dismantle Mortemia. His personality, he is in a relationship with Aditi, and it adds depth to his character, showing both his manipulative and protective sides. Baron represents the gray areas of power, loyalty, and self-interest. Appearance, not a lot. Literally nothing. He's a rich finance bro, literally zero description of him, but so many mentions of Eric being a blonde boy. Who cares? And Kaz calls him cold and aloof at one point. So here we go. We
Let's
just
get to it.
picked boys, I guess.
We picked
we
we
picked
picked
boys.
boys.
Oh, yours is correct.
Go first.
Okay, I'm gonna get
and then
this out of the
we'll
way.
Yep.
I have Austin Abrams, who, again, Euphoria, he plays the guy that the actress Barbie is with, and she's like, how does he like me? He's a skinny boy, and I'm not a skinny girl. He's in Chemical Hearts. He's in Do Revenge. He's in Dash and Lily, which is like a cute little tweet young adult rom-com, which I loved. It was actually a great show. Paper Towns, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. He's got a very big career, and so I was like, who is this can like push his hair back and like whatever, like kind of dresses poor but is rich sort of guy. So I went with Austin Abrams as Baron Whitmore white boy, and you
With Lucky Blue Smith, who
who the
is
fuck is this? He's
Nara
gorgeous.
Smith's husband.
Who?
She's the he's forever known as Nara Smith's husband. She's like the influencer, she's mixed race, and she does all of those like she wears beautiful gowns, and then will like make Cheerios from scratch for her children.
Oh,
while
she's a
doing, like,
trad wife?
ASMR. She's a trad wife because he is our favorite Mormon model, essentially. I
don't want to give you this because he's not an actor, but he looks like how I would picture Baron.
I know. He has acted in one thing.
Okay, I accept.
And
this character has zero substance, so he can.
I kind of can't stand either of them. Lucky Blue. His name is Lucky Blue.
His name's Lucky Blue.
Yeah,
and his wife makes homemade Cheerios. Bullshit. Like, somebody's running that household.
I know.
She's not doing that.
It's probably not her.
Okay.
Yeah.
I digress.
You should look up Nara. I'll send you a Nara Smith video so you can see.
Okay.
So I don't like either of them. I love to hate them, but also I can also tell in their videos that they both really love each other. So I was like, okay, So, like, I love to hate him, but also I can see that he at least cares about the people that he cares about, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the case with Aditi. He cares about the people that he cares about, but we love to hate him. He's a basic,
Yeah.
good-looking white boy, and he very much fits the upper echelon basic white boy finance bro look.
I accept.
So, and he's
I
also like
accept.
6'3". He's a
Great.
tall model boy.
I
All right.
accept. You had me at he's a Mormon model. Actually, you had me at his photo. That's
Great.
that's who I see. So him and bad boy Kaz. All
Yeah.
right, let's go Mormon model and lead singer of a metal band
I
is
love it.
leading the males.
I love it.
All right, I believe this is our last and final character. It
It
is
is.
Melissa, no last
Yes.
name. Our little doe. Okay, Melissa is an art student and she's the target and she's part of Salem's chosen family. Melissa is another of Salem's close friends whose vulnerability and near victimization by the society bring the danger close to home. Her personality, her journey is kind of from like this bubbly outsider survivor mirrors Salem's, and her friendship is a sort of strength and solidarity. I think it's like Salem is so quiet and finds her voice, and Melissa's like so loud and out there, and this what happens to her kind of changes her. Her appearance is she's very boho styled with her fashion. She's very pretty with brown eyes and a friendly smile. And that's it. Um,
That's it.
that's it. And I saw her as party girl who's like seeing an older gentleman and she's very secretive and she's got these text messages and stuff. And it turns out she is, being preyed upon. Also, sidebar, do you remember the scene where they're in like a club and they all go clubbing and then there's these masked men like groping them? Where did that come from?
RuNyx, what are you doing?
It
What are
kind of
you
came out of
writing?
nowhere, but
It
like
did.
she leads them to this like club or whatever. So I like see her as like kind of party girl,
Find me in
Danica,
the
Bryce
club,
Quinlan.
bottle full of bub. Mama, I got
Yes,
what
like
you
she's like, oh
need.
my
Yeah.
God, do you guys want to do tequila shots? That girl just died. I'm eating pasta. Like it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Very open to interpretation as a character. So I typecast the shit out of her and I went with her name is Rain Spencer. She is from the very popular and show that has taken over my life, The Summer I Turned Pretty on Amazon, written, directed by Jenny Han. She plays Taylor, who is Belly's best friend, who's the sorority girl, and her mom owns a hair salon, and she's not dumb by any means, but she's like a little bit aloof in the first and second season. This third season, I like the character a lot better. I think the actress, she's a decent actress, and I don't think Melissa has to play anything but a girl who falls victim to creepy male antics. So I picked Rain Spencer, and I don't know who you picked, but I see that our girls are both wearing the same silk green dress.
Are they?
We're very similar. They're both
Very
like
similar.
dressed very
Claire.
similarly, which is funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it matches the aesthetic of the whole presentation.
Absolutely.
So I picked
Absolutely. But you didn't even know
Ashley.
what it looked like. You didn't
I
know what the
know.
presentation
It's
looked like.
true.
That's crazy.
It's true.
All right.
Similar minds. I picked
Yeah.
Ashley Liao because I was wanting to go with like the sidekick trope, and this girl has played the sidekick in a couple of bigger things. She played the best friend of the daughter in Fuller House, so like
Okay.
Danny Bob Saget's granddaughter in the revamp of Full House, and she did that for 4
Okay.
years. And then she also played one of the friends in the Hunger Games Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
Okay. Oh,
And yeah, recognizing her coming to mind.
she's one of the students.
Yes,
She's the Krista Clearwater, maybe is the name or something. Yes. Okay. Yep.
yep.
Yeah.
And so I gotta like back it up for like
Yeah.
Clemencia Dovecote.
Clemencia Dovecote. There
Yep.
we go. She's the one
Yep.
that kind of is like, oh, I wrote that report too, and then she gets got by the snakes.
Yep. And then she's done a couple other small things. And so for
Mm.
me, this was like a young actress who has done few things. This would be another good project for her. I'm not tied to her. I'm not tied to either one. To me, this could kind of be a toss up because, again, RuNyx, give us more info.
Yeah, no,
Give us
I
a
like
little
your
bit more
choice.
info.
I like your choice
Okay.
for the sake of it adds diversity, and Melissa doesn't have a last name, and Melissa can be whoever the fuck we want her to be. I think my choice of Rain Spencer is very similar to Taylor's character from The Summer I Turned Pretty. This girl seems like she has a lot more range, and it would be really interesting, but like, yeah, she leads the charge, and she's sneaking around with this older guy. I like this choice for yeah, diversity, and there's some let's find the positive of the fact that there's no descriptors.
Yeah, that's true. There is no
Yeah.
descriptors. Maybe a few more to give us a little something, but descriptors maybe more in terms of like the character and not the looks. Like
Yes.
don't
Yeah.
don't paint us into a corner in terms of race and ethnicity, but give us a
100%.
little bit more who the character is and not just like party girl, like dig into the deep into it a little more.
100%. Okay, and that's all we have
Yeah.
for the actual fan cast. So let's recap. That was very easy. I think I knew that it was going to be when I was even reading the book, because I was like, okay, like this whole thing hinders on like the people, right? Like you got to kind of place certain people and it'll help bring it to life. It helps
Yeah.
colorize everything. So we've got Moana as our,
Awalihi
what's her last name?
Cravalho.
Cravalho. There we go. I still am like Janice Ian as Salem Salazar. We have Oscar Porter, lead singer of Arankai, emo boy, metal man, as Kaz Vanderwall. We have, oh, we did some switching here. So we did Steve Carell as Dr. Bane, the friendly and suddenly evil professor. Then we have Luke Evans as Dr. Merlin, the hot for teacher, creepy, evil, bad skilled man. And then we have Amariti uh, Kaur from Sex Life of College Girls as Aditi, no last name, best friend. Lucky Blue, I almost said Lucky Blue Sky. Lucky Blue Smith as Baron, the rich boy. Melissa is Ashley Liao. And that's it.
We did it.
There's no one else. I feel like maybe like Diane Keaton as the mom. I don't know. We'll just throw her in
Maybe a
there.
little older.
And that's it. If we haven't spoiled too much, pick up Enigma by RuNyx. Pick up other books by RuNyx. They will suck you in. They are entertaining. They have their quirks. Just know that. But what book
They
doesn't,
do.
right?
Yeah.
What book doesn't? We can always find something to
They're a
not
great
like.
pool read, a great transit read, a great
Yes.
airplane read. I still very much enjoyed it. Still
Yes.
read it.
Still read it. Well, Adara, thank you so much for coming back to FanCastic. Where can people find you as you are starting your audiobook journey, narration voiceover journey on TikTok?
Absolutely. My TikTok handle is at Adara Bryan 1. ADARA BRYAN 1.
We'll put it here on the screen. Follow Adara on TikTok. So any indie authors out there looking for ladies to voice a character, preferably a character of color. Let's get actual voice actresses and audiobook narrators of color doing that. Hit up Adara and get her some work.
That's me.
Yay! Okay, well, I don't know when I'll see you next for
The holidays.
whatever book we pick up, but I'll see you over the holidays in Minnesota.
Yes. Bye.
Bye, Adara. Thank you.
Bye, friend.
Bye. Thank you guys for listening to another episode of FanCastic. Here in season 2, we need your help to grow this podcast. So please like, subscribe, share. Follow us on TikTok at FanCasticPod, Instagram at FanCasticPod, YouTube at FanCasticPod. Email us if you have anything to say, if you want to be a part of the show, if you have any book suggestions, if you are an indie author and you are looking for an audiobook narrator, reach out to me. You can find me, Loretta, and Narrator on all social media platforms. Everything will be in the show notes. Special thanks to Adara for tuning in and our podcast managing producer, Emily Goodmanson, for putting in all of the pictures to keep everything anonymous until our recording time. So you get our real live reactions of who we are seeing as we are fan casting. Thank you, and